One of the most famous and mysterious historical figures in Cherokee history is Sequoyah, the inventor of the syllabary. Very little is actually known about his life and times. However, there are things that we do know. And this is a historical dramatic narrative based on written documentation as well as oral history about Sequoyah and his invention of the Cherokee Syllabary. Most accounts agree that I started my work on the Cherokee Syllabary in 1809 or 1810. Some say I was inspired by a newspaper that blew across my path. Others say that when I was serving in the War of 1812, that I was intrigued by the letters that the soldiers would write in the English language, and they would communicate their words and thoughts and send them to one another over far distances. And I thought to myself, a man invented this writing system, didn't he? Why couldn't I do the same for the Cherokee language, for the Cherokee people? Accounts say that I would spend hours drawing in the dirt, drawing on pieces of bark, making my own utensils with a knife, and trying out different symbols, creating different symbols for every sound in the Cherokee language. Ah, E, A, O, U, Ah. One account says that I was inspired by the way that the worms crawl in the dirt and the way that the birds fly in the sky to come up with these symbols, with these letters, with these glyphs that would create the Cherokee Syllabary. Not everyone understood what I was doing, though. Many people said that I was wasting my time, that I was being foolish, or that I was practicing witchcraft. But I ignored them all because I knew there had to be something to this writing system. So I continued working. One of the people who believed in my work was my very own daughter, Ahyoka. And tradition says that Ahyoka was one of my very first students. And I taught her this writing system. And she picked it up so quickly and so fast. And soon we could communicate with each other using the written word. But the whispers of witchcraft wouldn't go away. And tradition says that our Cherokee communities called upon us to prove that what we were doing was not witchcraft. So Ahyoka and I, using the writing system that I had invented and that I had taught her, we began using to write notes to one another, to communicate with one another. And together we proved that this was not witchcraft. And this wasn't just for me and Ahyoka. This writing system was for all Cherokee people, anyone who wanted to learn the Cherokee language. And gradually, the fear disappeared. Curiosity took its place. Our Cherokee communities were now hungry for this writing system in their own language. And many Cherokee communities adopted the Cherokee Syllabary as their writing system. And then in 1821, the Cherokee Council, which I formally served, adopted my syllabary as the formal written language of the Cherokee people. Today, we have our own newspapers, an immersion school, and many Cherokee language programs serving and using the Cherokee Syllabary. And the Cherokee Syllabary is serving its original purpose to this day, ensuring the survival of the Cherokee language for generations to come. Wado, and thank you for tuning in to the special Cherokee Storytelling segment. This was filmed on the historic grounds of Sequoyah's Cabin Museum in Sallisaw, Oklahoma. This presentation was part of 2021 programming celebrating the bicentennial of Cherokee Nation's formal adoption of Sequoyah's syllabary. Please stay tuned for more content-related programs celebrating Sequoyah's invention.